I'm sure that everyday investors must be coming to you with respect to who have invested pre-RIA as to how is their capital being preserved. So what are the kind of conversations that you are having recently?
I think pre-RIA, there was this big concept of, redeployment, and, that is where the track record of the regional center played a very important role. Like, it's one thing to do a project, but it's, the other thing to complete a full cycle. So I think on the pre-RIA side, the redeployment played a crucial role, and there are rules around where you can redeploy. It depends. Of course, it has to be within the United States. What we as a regional center do is we used to send out like a consent form. So every investor actually had a choice whether they want to be redeployed in project A, project B. They had the option to withdraw and work with their immigration attorneys to find an alternate project. So we were always okay with that. We have a lot of investors who come to us saying, why is your project locked in for 4 years? The USCIS only requires for 2 years. They need to understand that the end goal of EB-5 is job creation, right? Like when we are looking at a project, we're not just looking at the tenure. We're looking at the track record of the borrower. We're looking at the pedigree of the sponsors and other stakeholders involved, right? So we cannot make that a priority. What we want to do is we want to bring on a project which meets the USCIS guidelines, create the necessary jobs, and the scale of the project would not, necessarily match the 2-year timeline. So the reason we cannot do shorter projects, if we go for a decent sized project, the construction time plus the stabilization period for the asset, that would add up to at least 4 years. And then we always build in buffer because, there are macroeconomic factors that can affect the real estate industry or the hospitality industry. So we always build in a buffer so that, there are no surprises in the end, right? So the investor is aware from the very start that, okay, the 4 years is the lock-in. That is when, we would forecast for the asset to be stabilized, but it can, go longer.